reviews teams. Linda Dilger, the math coordinator, and Denise Green, another math coordinator, will be guiding teachers in the use of this tool. It was developed, it's available on the CDE website. Also I've asked the high school district to participate, and they will be sending their middle school math content lead to be at a separate meeting that we have scheduled for our 6th grade instructional materials review team. The math programs, most of them with Common Core are set up so they're K-5 and then 6-8. And so our students, we really need to see how we're transitioning them to middle school so that they don't have one program, K-5, and then 6th grade, we give them 1 year of a program, and then they go to middle school and get their program. We really need to think about continuity and consistency for our students. So they'll be working with us. We should be then bringing to you in April, a recommendation for a pilot, for an adoption. Okay. Okay. And then one of the other things Lee is going to talk to you about are the currently Engage New York math materials are being used in about 100 and...
We have 108 participants in the math grant, and then we actually in January, Lori opened it up for, we opened it up for any teacher who had a math grant participant in their grade level to maybe they were working with a math grant participant already, but they haven't had material, so we opened that up, and we actually now have 45 other teachers who are taking on Engage New York. So that's very exciting because we're seeing so many changes in the way kids are thinking and the way that the teachers are teaching. It's really transforming some thinking. It's exciting. So what we gave to you today is just an alignment chart. For K-5, the curriculum is called the Story of Units because it's focusing on unit math, on how units work together. So this is the 1st grade, just a picture of the 1st grade standards, but it gives you a good idea of how the curriculum works.
It's 100% Common Core.
Yes.
I'm just going to give this to you. Okay. Another thing that we have just introduced in January is a lot of you are familiar with Accelerated Reader. Well, now Accelerated Reader, due to the demands nationwide of teachers for access to informational text in language arts, that this is a huge new thing. 50% of the reading comprehension or the reading tasks in language arts are supposed to be in informational text and 50% in literature, but all of the old programs are 90%, 85% literature. So teachers all over the United States are screaming for informational text. Well, Accelerated Reader, Renaissance Learning, what they've done is that they've developed basically a portal, a second section of Accelerated Reader that allows teachers to assign informational text articles to their students. They're read in an ebook format. They can do it on Chromebooks. They can do it on iPads. They can also do whole class activities on their own laptop with a projector showing kids how to do it. They assign kids articles to read. There are tasks that they can assign, whether it's a constructed response, short answer, essay. They also have what many people are familiar with, the 5-item AR quiz that students then can also take. So this is something that is now, it's available for grades 3 through 5. It's ever expanding. Accelerated Reader, Renaissance Learning started with 3rd grade and up because, of course, those are the students throughout the United States that are taking SBAC, the new Common Core Standards test. Go ahead. More? Oh, and we're going to be having after school, there's tutorials there that really are very simple to watch for the teachers can gain expertise on it, 3, 5, 6-minute tutorials. But we will also have a trainer coming on, I believe it's February 10th, to do an after-school session that teachers can attend. We sent out a flyer for that. Another project we have going is to pilot curriculum units from the lab, the guided language acquisition design you've heard a lot about. This is just a sample. I took a screenshot to show you that shows you one unit in kinder, which is citizens in our community, but it also then, this is a social studies, but it shows you right there the Common Core State Standards in Language Arts. W1 through 3 is referring to writing standards, and this of course is in the narrative genre. RI is informational reading, RL, reading literature, RF, foundational reading skills, SPL is speaking and listening, and then of course language. Then they have the related, in that unit, the Common Core math standards that are taught, the health standards, PE standards, visual performing arts. If this were of a science unit, you would see the next generation science. We have 28 teachers that are going to be piloting this in our district, hopefully one unit by the end of the year. It was recommended to us that we try to do it at one school, and because the units are available in both Spanish and English, we have opened it up initially to Lincoln because they have the DI. So we have 17 teachers there that are on board that are going to be piloting it. Plus we have 11 of our gladiator teachers throughout the district that will be piloting in their classrooms so that teachers at other sites can also have access to the materials and see it in work. The gladiators, their classrooms are always open to other teachers to visit.
All right, so just a review of the math grant. We have 108 participants. It's fully Common Core math with technology integration. We do go a little bit into computer coding, but it's a lot about how to further your instruction with the use of technology. We have the grant consists of a 30-hour summer institute. So we had our first one this last summer, and our next one's coming. It's a 3-year grant, so we'll have 3 different summer institutes. Each year there's 30 hours of online curriculum. Teachers have already completed 2 trimesters already, so they're 20 years into 20 hours into the online curriculum. I feel like it's not and 24 hours of coaching. So this year we've been able to get coaching in through PLC type groups and also in class side-by-side co-teaching and demo lessons. And next year, we will have more side-by-side coaching, working with teachers and kind of guiding them through the Common Core implementation, because it is a huge instructional shift and teachers really are craving that support. There's only, at this point, we have one coach and me as the administrator and also coach, and it's been a challenge getting into classrooms for me because I've just had a lot to do. I'm trying now to get more into the classroom, try to get all the Engaged New York out, go into the classroom and start my coaching more than I've been able to. Grant participants are piloting Engaged New York Math right now, and it's been a challenge, but I think everybody's kind of seeing that once you get over the hump and once you understand how the curriculum can work for you, they're finding that their kids' math brains are growing, and that they're finding it a little bit easier to kind of digest and teach. So it's been a really amazing ride. Going along with that, we are putting on math talks. One of the huge components of Common Core math is getting in the 4 C's of 21st century skills. That's collaboration, communication. I know I'm going to forget because communication, collaboration, critical thinking. I got it on there.
Water bullet.
There we go. And creativity. Within the math talks, you can get all of this, and within Engage New York, it's really built in. So we are hosting math talks with Linda Dilger and Denise Green from MCOE to help teachers. It's open to all teachers. Kind of facilitate math discussion in their classroom. Getting kids to talk about the math. We know that kids, at some point, teachers become white noise in classrooms and they kind of shut down. But when they learn from each other, that's when the real growth happens. So this is giving them the opportunity to talk, and helping teachers facilitate those discussions is key. So we have, we didn't put the dates on there, and now my brain's mush. But we have 2 of them coming up, February 3rd and February 17th, I believe, for the different grade clusters. We're also doing Coach's Corner, and that's my coach, Sophia Whitting, the math grant coach, and Erica Tuminelli, who's the new teacher support coach. They're hosting Coach's Corner at each site. Right now they're starting at Cammon, so that teachers can come to them at their site, and even if they're at a close by site, for a little bit more support, they can come with questions, they can come with needs, and Erica and Sophia and me, when I'm available, can kind of give them that. So we're really working to support our teachers as much as we possibly can, because we know this is not easy, but it is worth it in the end. Anything else to add on to that?
Nope, just keep with the buttons. Okay, this is Virginia. One more, please.
Oh.
Virginia is also going to be doing some professional, I don't know.
It's probably drop in. She's
Yeah,
fancy.
just do the whole thing. This has to do with the Smarter Balance Assessment System. Do we have the rest of it?
There's
Sure.
one more.
Yes. Okay. And so we all know at the top of the pyramid you have the summative. That's that once-a-year monster that kids are going to be taking starting. The window opens in March and it ends in May. But there's also this new entity called the Digital Library that's been developed by CDE, and it's very glitchy right now, but all teachers will have accounts to it, and it will provide some resources, including, as it says down there, formative resources that are formative assessments that are SBAC-like in those formats, but there's also lesson plans and other resources available to them. One of the other things that is about to be launched in CDE, these have been promised for years, but they will be released on the 29th of January, so we haven't even seen them yet. And those are the interim assessments. Those are tests that essentially are parallel to SBAC that will be available. The districts can use for benchmark should they like to. It is optional to use them. They do, the Department of Education, SBAC does not score them. Teachers would have to score them themselves if they wanted to use it. But teachers might want to take a look at these resources. So Virginia will be offering 2 after-school sessions in February on on the whole digital library, but specifically the interim, because we know they're coming out and teachers might want to take a look at them and see them. Okay. And then I think we're over to you, Monica.
Okay. And so in technology, we have ongoing training that are happening throughout the district. Currently, when we started, and the district required MacBook Air new laptops for teachers. He did that training starting the end of last year in the late spring and through the summer. And he is doing that continually now, although it's just to catch up anyone that is either new to the district now, or maybe there's 2 people who have not yet received their MacBook Air that are continuing teachers from last year. But pretty much he's caught everyone up, and he's done an hour and a half to 2 hours with each teacher in our district at this point. We also have, like Lee was saying, ongoing support for technology for the math grant. We, as a result of our board's opportunity to hire, we have 4 electronic technicians and 2 Land 2 technicians, and now they're dedicated to sites. They go there once every 3 days, and they're completely at addressing the site needs of technology, whether it's hardware at the site, like a server or the network, or in a classroom. Today, someone's iPads got set up with Imagine Learning at Roosevelt. So, you know, that kind of support, teacher to teacher, and all day for once every 3 days. Then we're also leading a team of 13 site technology lead teachers to the Q conference, the annual Q conference, which we did last year as well. And that provides the site technology lead teachers with a basis for skill for being coaches to their colleagues, also skills in fostering their own technology, but then also with the eye towards them presenting in summer when we have our technology university every summer as well. So those are commitments on the part of Tech Leads, and these are the events that we use to get them ready. We also have Tech Tuesdays coming back, and which are technology staff development that we offer every Tuesday, and we're making the rounds. And this year we're doing 2 classes at the sites that we try to group schools. And so we're doing 2 classes at that site. One is iPads that I'm doing, one is Chromebooks that Nick is doing, so that it ties with the Common Core implementation and how to better use Chromebooks, how to better use iPads in the classroom. Libraries are also getting their staff development. We're finally able to eke out a little bit of time from librarians now that they have more time dedicated to their schools to do a professional development for them. So I'm gonna be leading that. And then we also have upcoming work sessions for web updates, for the website updates on behalf of school sites, district secretaries, department secretaries, and then administrators as well. So that's, in a nutshell, our upcoming technology offerings.
And then finally, just to close, to give you an idea of the flurry of activity that will be happening between now and the end of the year, we'll be starting an essential, or restarting an essential standards committee. Dr. Lusa has directed that this work all be done by before the end of this school year. What this group will do, we had a group before. These will be grade level representatives who comb through the standards and identify priority standards, the ones that we call them essential standards before. We broke them down, took them apart, and they were ICANNs. And so we will go back to that work with Common Core. Then the best benchmark assessments will be reviewed to ensure alignment to our essential standards that are identified. And then the report card will also be aligned then to the essential priority standards that are identified. So lots of committee work and opportunities to volunteer and get involved.
Any questions? Ms. Barnes?
I have several.
Several?
First for Monica. Is the gentleman that comes to Roosevelt, his name is Alejandro? Alejandro. He's amazing, what he does. I mean, I just want to compliment him because the teachers in the lab had a problem and boom, he's there, and he's neat, and he's, I don't know, and safety. He's really looking at safety and making sure the cords aren't, I mean, I was just really impressed, so I wanted to tell you that.
Okay.
On Tech Tuesday then, you actually go to the classroom and, I mean, go to the school?
We go to the schools.
And
Right.
then people can come to you?
Correct.
Okay.
And we have that calendar going out, and it's going to be on the district staff development calendar as well. People can sign up there for the sessions.
On the district calendar? Oh, okay. And the digital library, I know that you said that there's lesson plans and all kinds of things there, and there will be some training in February?
Virginia will do after-school sessions for people. Right now, it's not available. We don't know what we're at. So Virginia is on a webinar on the 29th when it's released with CVE. But we know that we need to have a very quick turnaround to get information out to teachers about this. Board members, you're invited to go too if you'd like to see what the resources are. And so once Virginia sees what's available, because even as of 2 weeks ago, CVE wasn't sure how much they have ready. So then she will make plans, and she will do after-school sessions in February also, and invite teachers, and we'll take it from there. But it's kind of hard to really make plans. We've seen the blueprints of what's supposed to be there, but what's actually operable, operational,
Operational.
not operable, we'll know that on the 29th.
There's just so much, and I know it's all optional, but all the teachers need this because they're so frustrated with it. And then, and one more thing for Monica, aids in computer lab, does that depend, and how is it financed? And it depends on the teachers, I mean, on the school site council? How does that happen?
If it's funded by the school site, then that's how they're in place. And that's a school site decision based with the school site council and the site administration.
I just think it's so important. I see computer labs not being used because not all teachers are tech savvy, and they're afraid to go in there, and that's a real shame because we need to have the keyboarding for sure. I know you said that on Chromebooks we can do keyboarding?
Right, on any device that we can do Chromebooks, whether in the lab or in the classroom computers or on Chromebooks as well. And then we have district licenses for Typing Club, which is, it's free, but the district paid for the reporting and the assignment portion, so that teachers could get assigned tasks to their kids in keyboarding and then receive progress reports as a result.
And the teachers know that their Chromebooks can be converted, not converted, but added?
Yes, yes. And Nick will reinforce that when he does the Tech Tuesdays of Chromebooks as well.
Okay. And then the math talks. I wanted to ask you about that. How exactly are you implementing it? I understand that you're helping people, but do they come to a certain room and they work with you?
Math Talks, right now we have 2 scheduled, and that's February 3rd is going to be TK to 2nd grade, and and then the 17th is third grade to 6th grade. 2nd grade to 1st, I'm overlapping somewhere. 2nd grade to 6th grade. They'll be able to, basically it's helping teachers figure out how to get their kids to talk about the math. So there's just 2 events right now, and as the need, as we see a need, we'll keep going. That's helps the help of MCOE.
And part of that, I'll add to that, is that the people in the math grant are getting that.
Right.
They're having that in their collaboration. So what we want to make sure is that a lot of these wonderful things that are happening in the grant, how do we filter that out to other people? Right. So that's what we're doing. And so part of what's happening with the coaching too is that we have had, will you explain what you did, for example, Los Padres with Sophia and the other teachers coming there?
Yeah, well, she was able to leverage things like, well, we did that at Verona Meadows too. She was able to leverage PLC days that the school sites are already having and go and do a demo lesson so that all the teachers are able to watch her do a lesson and the teachers are able to kind of watch it and talk about what she's doing. Sometimes I'm able to be there and kind of explain what she's doing and why it's different than what we've been doing in the past. And they're seeing amazing things with their kids that sometimes they didn't see when they were in front of their kids themselves. So it's kind of nice for them to be able to step back, watch somebody else maneuver their class, get them to talk about the math, and see what their kids can do.
On the coaching, you said there's only like 3 coaches or 2 or 3 coaches. How is that at a Cal State?
So
they're financing it?
Our coach is funded through the grant. So we have a grant coach who's only right now servicing grant people.
How do we get more coaches?
That's a good question.
That is, I think, it's a very important question.
Yes.
Because not just language arts, we really need to look at making an investment in academic coaches for our teachers. We need to take a look at our professional development model. We have done a very admirable job of in-seat training, but to actually implement and to refine, it takes a lot of support. And we need, Jerry, you call that boots in the field? Or boots on the ground? Boots on the ground.
Boots in the classroom.
Okay, boots in the classroom. It's supporting teachers. And I think that for next year in the LCAP.
I would like to add is the culture, Ms. Barnes. Yes, the culture in the district is changing. It was very adversarial to coaches, if you remember, really first.
Right.
So nobody wanted coaches, nobody wanted. But they're seeing, and the culture is changing. And the coaches right now in the math grant, it's wonderful. It's support for classroom teachers. So you will see, hopefully, more coaches across the curriculum in the near future.
I have to credit my coach Sophia with that too, because she's got such a collegial attitude that it's not a threatening thing for the teachers to have her come in and work with them. So they feel very comfortable, and with me too. They know me, and so it's easy for us to work together and to kind of show them new things, and it's a comfortable model. So I'm hoping that moving forward we can keep with that kind of model to help teachers.
It takes time to build trust. And with the Reading First model that we had, it was compliance-based. And there were checklists. And now we have coaches that are going in, and it isn't with the checklist, it isn't compliance, it's the teachers identify what they might want to see, what they might want to have help with, and how they need to be supported.
Teachers help me.
Do you think the next time you can come and show us what you would need to make it perfect? I mean, you were just talking about needing more coaches, and if we had this and if we had this, what kinds of things do we need to support teachers, and possibilities of where it could be funded or?
Ilka? Yes. This is something that is actually part of, I'm going to ask you, you will definitely, yes, I will come to you next time with that. Of course I will. But it is a big picture item. It's probably a big ticket item. And it would be part of our LCAP evaluating our annual review and then our revision about what we need to do for next year, because it is definitely something that is over and above any base program that we could look at investing our supplemental concentration dollars.
But if we want our kids to be successful, we need it.
You bet. Yes, exactly.
I have a young lady back there. Do you have a question?
First of all, thank you
Or
for calling me a
statement.
young lady. I'm a parent, and I'm hearing that many of these are either only allowed for certain types of students, many of these programs. Like you're saying there's a math grant, and
Right.
only 108 teachers are utilizing it right now. And we have, what, 400 teachers? So
350, which is why we're
Okay.
trying to do other after school.
right, so it's either optional or only available for some teachers. So that means my student's teacher, theoretically, right, could just opt out and then just continue teaching the way they've always taught, and my child will learn nothing different, and many other students in the district. Why is it an optional program, and why are not all teachers required to learn the same technology and teach the same technology?
So the math grant was a program from California Department of Education, and it's a voluntary program because it requires a lot of effort above and beyond, and they receive stipends from the state for their participation. So it
just seems totally inequitable to all the students in the district, based on what their teacher chooses to do.
Per contract.
Would that be right, or?
No, I know, you're right, and this is another thing we really do need to grapple with. Currently in our contract, our teachers have 2 mandatory, they have 2, I shouldn't say mandatory, 2 staff development days in their contract. And it's a work day, and that's when we can provide training. And there's a lot of training that is currently Common Core demands a lot of training, and we're making it available. We have an issue with substitute teachers, and that's something else. I think you've been hearing about a teacher shortage,
Right.
and we also have substitute teacher shortage. And we did do quite a lot of professional development in the past with teacher release, by having institutes and trainings during school time, and teachers would have a substitute teacher. They'd be out of their classroom. Well, a lot of people aren't comfortable with being out of their classroom a lot, and they shouldn't be. We don't want that necessarily. But we can't do a lot of the trainings now because we do have a substitute shortage. We have had, many instances where teachers have had to be called back. We had one, a GLAD follow-up session, one of these language arts programs, and we had to cancel it because there weren't enough subs.
So to follow up, the major problem is not enough staff development days?
That is that's an obstacle because there's a finite amount of
You can
time.
have many more coaches, and you can offer lots more, but if the teachers choose not to do it because they don't feel like doing it, then who benefits?
Well, I think what it is that we need to rise to the challenge of creating on-the-job professional development. which is what coaching is. It's in your classroom. And so, and again, it is disruptive to be pulled out of the classroom.
But is it optional at this point?
Yes.
Much of it, yeah.
Yes.
Last year, we did do some,
It's volunteer.
yeah, it's volunteer. It's volunteer.
Afternoons, some are going to be.
Right. We
There's
did
already
do
volunteers.
last year and also for the, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
no, but I was talking about for the MacBook Air.
Yeah.
Which were, basic, we did do those with sub-release going through for SBAC last year so that all of our 3rd through 6th grade teachers would understand the formatting of the SBAC test. We did go through and do an hour-and-a-half workshop, some after school, and people who weren't available to go after school and be paid, we did do some sub-release cycles in the classrooms back
Yeah,
here.
we have another question back there.
Yeah, it's more of a comment. I am a teacher in the district. I have put in so many hours.
Exactly.
And I am saying it is not about teachers being lazy or not volunteering.
I don't think it's about being lazy. I'm not attacking teachers at all. What I
Yeah.
mean is they're not getting paid for all this work that they do that's extra. I understand teachers put in too much volunteer time and so many supplies that they purchase on their own, and that's why I'm wondering what's the responsibility of the district? Sorry, I'm hijacking the.
No, I was gonna say,
No,
we're gonna
I mean,
close
how do
session.
we-
It's a really important
And have a
question.
So
conversation
please
as you
accept
go
my
along.
apology. In no way am I attacking teachers. It's quite the opposite. I recognize that teachers put in way too much
Okay,
volunteer
Ms.
time.
Saunders?
Yes,
Saunders,
I'm sorry.
we're almost closed, almost finished here. Thank you.
I'm done.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Comments?
Comment, yes, I wasn't done.
Board?
I have real issue when I have
I
gone.
cannot see you or.
Okay,
And make it brief, please. Good evening.
Hi,
Thank you for
Diane
being here.
Kananen, Laurelwood School. I'm a 6th grade teacher.
Good, thank you.
I have been doing a lot with CTA and talking to other districts and how they have set up their Common Core professional development. I really felt like I came out of that meeting that I went to going, we did everything backwards. And I know we tried to do things, hit everything running. And unfortunately, it's gotten to a point where we have to step back and really do the professional development. I felt like we invested so much in the technology, but not the professional development. And a lot of the districts that have been successful have done it with their teachers in terms of, okay, teachers, you aren't capable of doing this on your own, and have given them the time and the money to do it, and to come up with their own curriculum that works for the district. And they seem to be very effective. And I just feel like we didn't get that support. We've got it here. We can do it. We just need the support. And we have been inundated with so much stuff. Like you say, we don't have enough subs. Administration is brand new everywhere. The administrators are out on training, so you can't depend on them to be at your school site for any backup. It's just kind of a crazy year. And I really feel we need to step back and reprioritize how we implement this. That's all I want to say.
For your information, I heard that from Ms. Saunders.
Okay.
Stepping back a little bit, regrouping. In the military, we call it regrouping. You never withdraw, you just regroup. Okay, and we go forward on that. Okay, yes, good. Anything else on the presentation? I think we got another item, correct? Okay, we're down to, yeah. We're down here on capital facilities improvement this summer. And thank you. This is the master plan.
Mr. President, trustees, superintendent, Luza, and remaining attendees. This should actually read summer 15-16 proposed capital facilities improvement projects, but and beyond. And we bring you only preliminary items here that we are looking to flesh out so we don't surprise you 2 or 3 months or 2 or 3 years from now. All of them would be pending the availability of funding, and the funding page is being handed out now, and we're going to work hard to see how we can shave some of those costs off. But on top of some projects that have already been funded with ERP dollars, Emergency Repair Program dollars, that we'll be doing, that were provided to us in the last 2 months, a total of $2.1 million. These are 3 projects, and I'll just briefly mention 2 more, but these are 3 projects that we have in this board action for you for information: University Park, Los Padres, and Lincoln. And I'd like to just address the scope of them. At University Park, we found that we had a heck of a time getting special needs buses in and out. In fact, because they have to offload many times where there's ADA access walkways to get the kids off and get to school, and then turn around, it was taking 30 and 40 minutes to move buses in and out, and that's not acceptable. It's not safe, and it has caused some security issues with buses moving on the backside of University Park School. So the project as designed has been estimated at $221,000, and that would include a significantly large turnaround into the sports field area, but not intrude or take away any useful sports field area. So multiple buses could pull in on the curved area and quickly offload and get back out. It would also include an overhead covered area for inclement weather or on sunny days where students could wait and teachers could wait to pick up the kids or put the kids back on buses. So it's a real safety issue right now. I was out there and was appalled between our buses, MCOE buses, and buses from other districts that all come up to the classes at UP. It's a real nightmare. At any rate, we'll continue to work on that and see where the funds might come from safety dollars or elsewhere to refine it, reduce the cost, but we've shaved a bunch off already. Number 2, at Los Padres, we have the old multi-purpose room, if you'll recall. We have this great joint use project now, and our next information item will talk a little bit about the use of that, but we have the old multi-purpose facility, and we have a classroom shortage evolving at Los Padres because of growth of the school. So we looked at what we could do to take that multi-purpose room, and I think it's page 2 of the attachments, and change it into a library and a couple of potential computer labs, although we project only one would be staffed as a computer lab. I worked out as a computer lab. The other one could be a staff lounge, could be an additional classroom. Unfortunately, that building is a real nightmare once you get into it of what you have to do. And so the initial shock factor from the designer was about $800,000, and that's not going to happen. We know that. $857,000. So we're refining now what we can do with existing roof structures. We're not too worried about the HVAC because we can get Prop 39 for that. So there's an offset of what we can get from that. But we'll continue to work that one. Again, it's going to be this summer and the out years. They do need the space. The alternate would cost a lot more. It's a multi-million-dollar operation to put new modular classrooms in. We have some aging single-story ones that we need to take out and probably put a 2-story structure in. That's part of the general plan for build out of Los Padres. I just bring that up where we are on this particular project now. The third project, Lincoln's admin office has lagged behind the other schools in modernizing the flow and the security aspects. So the project for Lincoln at about $400,000 would create the rest of the ADA access, electronic control, positive control of anyone flowing into the school and through the school by going through the office, and then modernize the office space for the secretarial staff, the principal, and the vice principal. And again, we're going to continue to refine that. I give that to you now just for information again. This is nothing we're going to be building next time you come out to Lincoln, but I think we need to know about all those options early. There's 2 more I would just mention to you. As we build Lincoln out, we have more of a parking problem, and we have a vision to increase the parking on Maple Street. And by doing that, we can reduce the congestion that's down off of California now, including a new parking area that we had to pave some muddy area for safety and for fire access. That's a small project that we'll look at and get some design pictures of and see what that might cost us. And then finally, and this is part of the ERP project, we got a ton of money in for Roosevelt for roof repair and for asphalt. We've already done some of both of those. So some of that money will be released into the Construction Fund 25 that we can use for other projects. But another big chunk of it is money that we would use to substantially redo the paved play area and the parking area at Roosevelt, which looks kind of like Beirut after the battles are all done. I mean, it's all cracked asphalt, and as part of that, we want to add an exit from that parking lot, not back onto Capitol, but onto the little cul-de-sac, so it flows better also. So these are just things for information. We owe you a lot more information on them as we refine them and as money comes available. But I wanted to bring those out to you tonight, and stay tuned, News at 11, we'll come back later.
I do want to make a comment. The Los Padres School, the design, the way I see it right now, the picture, it looks like a learning center. Not a library, but a learning center. But where is the library going to go?
If you look at
It might be.
D1 information, the Los Padres School, the library is on the side facing the playground, and then there's 2 computer labs that are opposite.
So the learning center is.
And those are all new interior walls. What that would do by putting those facilities there is we have a current library and we have a current computer lab and a staff lounge for teachers that could all be returned to classrooms. Bona fide hard classrooms, not portables, but real good learning platforms.
And you're not going second floor?
We're not.
Can afford it.
Can't afford it.
You know, as a matter of fact, I wanted to let my colleagues know as well as yourself. I've had tours through that floor plan already, so it's a fantastic opportunity.
Nice flow plan. We had a really innovative architect, and we started moving things, and he had a great program we were able to play with, but we couldn't play with the budget to get the dollars down to about a third of that. So we're still working on that part, okay?
So that's partnered up with the city, correct? They have the money. The last item, any questions first before?
Any questions on this one before I address the last item? Okay, our last item, and I'll defer questions to Mary Pritchard and to Terry Ryan, but the subject is our Los Padres School hosting the Cornerstone Theater production. Recall now we have the joint use multi-purpose room at Los Padres, and Cornerstone Theater Productions is moving in, and it's a substantial use over a significant period of time of that multi-purpose facility, which means we have to relocate some student eating areas and reduce the access to our students for that period. There's a benefit in terms of seeing it, but what we've done, and there's no cost to us for it as far as that goes. We do get a contribution. You have a floor plan that shows you the temporary stage. It's going to be in the middle of that multi-purpose facility. The presentation will allow for, 180 people at a time per presentation for this Cornerstone. I put it out for information so you know what's happening on our facility. It is a joint use facility, and again, I would defer any questions facility-wise to Mr. Ryan, who's negotiated with the Cornerstone folks, and production-wise to Mary Pritchard.
Any questions? No? None? Questions, comment? Okay. What do we got next?
Next meeting.
Next meeting. It's going to be,
Mr. President,
yeah, go
it
ahead.
is scheduled the next board meeting for February 23rd. However, I may, as your direction, we may have a special board meeting before that. So I assumed in 2 more weeks, yeah. But I will notify you, and we will advertise the agendas and everything, okay? Thank you.
Mark?
I just would like to ask Mrs. Willingham if you could come as an informational item and let us know what about class size, where we are, what we're doing to reduce it, and where you see it going.
Okay, thank you. Okay, adjourn at 9 o'clock. We're over with the meeting. It closes at 9. Thank you very much. And thank you for being here. Those of you who stuck it out and participated.